Once again, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. So yesterday, where we left off in our discussion was talking about trust and over the internet, right? And would you want to do a quick recap on that?
Yeah, we were talking about you know different systems in online today, helping us to do transactions or share the content. We talked about something like system of record and system of trust,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
just to expound on that, what we were talking about trust was about um, you know creating some mutual agreement and exchanging some value. Because if there are no two people, you don't need trust. If you are like meditating all in the wilderness,
Yeah.
and you're probably worried about not trusting in God, nothing more. So
But
that's a
even
very
though
interesting.
you make an agreement, right? You have to make an agreement with God. Actually, God made an agreement with us that if you do this, I'll give you this, and that's probably the agreement that we are fulfilling over there.
That's a very transactional relationship.
I mean, every relationship is, right? Can you think of any relationship? Anyway, how do we use
Yeah,
this trust? How do we use this trust, let's say, over the internet?
yeah. So before even getting there, now that we talked about, um, you know,
God,
no, no, having two parties, having multiple parties.
yeah,
There's a very interesting thing to note here. If you look at internet, internet assumed one thing. Internet assumed a computer. It was started as a network of computers, right? Which means the computer had to be present there. There was a computer, and then you networked it. It became
yeah,
internet. Then you found users for that.
yeah.
Um, Trust assumes something. What do you think it is?
Transaction?
No, it assumes a network. If there's no
Okay.
network, if there is no people connected, talking to each other,
Mhm. Yeah.
uh, then you don't need that concept of trust. What you do is every time you just get out of internet, deliver things, and then come back internet and say that, yeah, I've done it, and here is the record. And
When you
and
say
that,
network of people or network of computers?
I mean, people are actually the users of computers, so we
Correct.
need a network of systems, and
Okay.
that is where jokingly, like the way we have mentioned the title, um, we had an internet. Now we need to have something on built on top of that, like an
Mhm.
intertrust. Who knows, like what it will be named later.
Okay.
But most of these things, it probably started with Bitcoin and things like that, Ethereum, evolving into
Yeah.
NFT. And probably that's where I'm answering your question, where it is being used.
Okay.
um, is a way of manifesting or building systems of trust over the internet. I don't know whether that
Hmm.
makes sense, right? The flip side of that is that this is being used as an investment medium. People are like running crazy to it, because like Bitcoin is appreciating, Ethereum is appreciating, NFTs are being sold. I can mint an NFT, this, that, which is
Bitcoin is
good in a
crashing
way.
right now.
What is it?
Bitcoin is crashing right now.
Yeah, it's good because that brings, that's like the magnetic attraction towards this technology, without you being worried about what is happening under the hood. There's no Adam Smith here. We are not talking about the economics of the trade. You're talking about money
Mhm.
here, which is like the hard, easy thing to realize and understand,
Hmm.
which is required. Because without that, people will not come just like that. Nobody comes and wants to preach philosophy of trust, and then
Hmm.
experiment with Bitcoin and NFTs and things like that. So today, it is being made possible that you don't have to get out of internet to deliver things. you know there's a new set of people, new breed of people who are making digital things and delivering it. I'll give one interesting thought. Think about a situation. You have a 3D printer at home. You want to buy a shoe, You don't buy a shoe, you buy a digital artifact.
Okay.
And the shoe gets printed at home. Or maybe like the shirt gets printed at home. So there is no, the fundamental paradigms of transactions, commerce, we don't know. Like, this is just a wild theory, right? Things could get really impacted, and it will not be possible without these technologies and without these fundamental assumptions that we are making about technologies, that things have to be interconnected. There should be a trustworthy platform. Like, for example, if you put something on Bitcoin, in all possibility, you cannot change it. That's what it is. So it has got that contract that you cannot change, and you can't trust on it. So that's where we are leading to. Probably that is where we've been talking all about how you put the trust over the internet, how you build systems of trust, and how you operate that systems of trust on an interconnected world and then on an interconnected network. How does that sound?
Sounds very interesting, but what I want to do probably tomorrow is, take this to the next level and to go back to the roots and basics and see how, as a society, we built systems of trust before an era of the internet. How fundamentally it existed, maybe. How, maybe from a spiritual context. You touched about God, and I think that's a very interesting and large topic to talk about. And I think how probably in the very, very olden days, how we came about these concepts and ideas. I don't know. It's just a thought that comes to mind, which is quite intriguing, of how systems of trust were created. I'm not saying we'll harp on the fact of trust itself, because we have been talking about trust for so long, but how a society evolved at a very early stage. Because I think going back to the roots, going back to the fundamentals, will open up more clarity on a lot of things as well, actually, because intricacies were less, but at the same time, efficiencies were high as well.
Maybe we will talk about Matrix after that.
Maybe, yes. And that is all for today. So it's been great. I think this is a cool journey. So let's, and I'll ask the audience also, whoever is listening, if there is anyone listening, when they listen to this, about what they think about what we have shared. Just put it down in the comments. All right. Ciao.
See you then. Yeah. See you tomorrow.